Good morning, friends. Have you ever woken up feeling like your body just isn't as ready to take on the day as it used to be? Maybe you've noticed that getting out of bed feels a little harder, or that grogginess lingers longer than it did. In your younger years, trust me, you're not alone. As we age, our bodies and routines change, and sometimes habits we don't even think about can actually hold us back from living life to the fullest. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's incredibly important: your independence. It's one of those things we often take for granted until it starts to slip away. And let me tell you, there are some simple tweaks you can make right now, starting with your mornings, that will help you stay strong, confident, and independent for years to come. Now, here's the thing. Mornings set the tone for the rest of your day. They're like the foundation of a house. If they're shaky, everything else might feel off balance. Over the years, I've learned that some seemingly harmless habits can actually sabotage your energy, your mobility, and even your mental clarity. That's why I'm going to share with you 4 common morning mistakes that many people over 60 unknowingly make, and more importantly, how to fix them. These tips aren't complicated, but they're powerful enough to make a real difference in how you feel every single day. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, settle in, and let's get started. The first habit I want to talk about is skipping breakfast, or worse, grabbing something quick and unhealthy. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm not hungry when I wake. Or I don't have time for breakfast. But here's the deal. After a full night's sleep, your body has been fasting for hours. Your blood sugar levels are low, and if you don't refuel properly, you're setting yourself up for an energy crash later in the day. And trust me, no one wants to feel sluggish by mid-morning. A good breakfast doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to give your body the nutrients it craves. Think about foods that are rich in protein, fiber, and healthy fats. For example, a boiled egg with whole grain toast and avocado is a great option. Or maybe you prefer a bowl of oatmeal topped with nuts and berries. Whatever you choose, make sure it's something that will keep you fueled and focused throughout the morning. Let me share a story with you. A friend of mine, Evelyn, used to skip breakfast all the time because she thought it would help her lose weight. But instead of feeling lighter, she felt exhausted and irritable. Once she started eating a balanced breakfast every day, something as simple as Greek yogurt with fruit and a sprinkle of chia seeds, she noticed a huge difference. Her energy levels soared, and she didn't crave sugary snacks by mid-morning anymore. The lesson here is clear. Breakfast isn't just about satisfying hunger. It's about giving your brain and muscles the energy they need to function at their best. Now let's move on to another habit that can really throw a wrench. In your morning routine, rushing out of bed too quickly. I'll admit, I used to do this all the time. The alarm would go off, and I'd jump out of bed like I was training for a sprint. But here's the problem. When you rush, you're putting unnecessary strain on your joints and muscles, especially if you've got any stiffness or soreness from sleeping. Instead, take a moment to ease into your day. Start by stretching gently while you're still lying down. Wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your ankles, and stretch your arms overhead. Then sit up slowly and give yourself a few seconds before standing. This small adjustment can help prevent dizziness, reduce the risk of falls, and even loosen up tight muscles so you feel more limber as you start your day. Plus, taking these extra few minutes gives you a chance to check in with yourself. How does your body feel today? Are there areas that need a little extra care? Being mindful in the morning sets a positive tone for the hours ahead. For instance, my neighbor Jim, who's in his early 70s, used to complain about feeling stiff and achy in the mornings. He told me he'd wake up and immediately try to get moving, only to find himself hobbling around for the first hour or so. One day, I suggested he try easing into his mornings with some gentle stretches. At first, he was skeptical. He said he didn't have time for yoga poses or anything fancy, but once he gave it a shot, he couldn't believe the difference. Just rolling his shoulders, circling his wrists, and doing a few neck rolls made him feel so much better. Now he swears by his morning stretch ritual and says it's helped him maintain his mobility and independence. So remember, slowing down doesn't mean losing momentum. It means giving your body the care it deserves. Let's shift gears now and talk about another sneaky culprit that could be sabotaging your independence: caffeine overload. I love my morning coffee just as much as anyone else, but too much caffeine can actually work against you, especially as we get older. For one thing, it can dehydrate you, which leads to fatigue and muscle cramps. And let's not forget how it affects your sleep. If you drink coffee too late in the morning, you might find yourself tossing and turning at night. So here's my advice. Enjoy your cup of coffee or tea, but don't overdo it. Stick to 1 or 2 servings early in the day, and then switch to water or herbal teas. Staying hydrated is absolutely essential for keeping your energy levels steady and your body functioning smoothly. If you're someone who relies on caffeine to perk you up, try swapping it out for a short walk or some light stretching instead. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel without that jittery caffeine buzz hanging over you. One of my viewers, Linda, reached out to me a while back and shared her experience with cutting back on caffeine. She said she used to drink 3 cups of coffee before noon, and while it gave her a temporary boost, she always ended up crashing by mid-afternoon. After switching to green tea and drinking more water throughout the day, she noticed a dramatic improvement in her energy and mood. Plus, she slept better at night, which made her mornings easier to handle. Linda's story reminds us that sometimes less really is more. Moderation is key, especially when it comes to substances that affect our bodies so directly. Now that we've covered the importance of eating a nourishing breakfast, easing into your day with gentle movement, and being mindful of your caffeine intake, let's move on to another critical piece of the puzzle, and that's the way we talk to ourselves first thing in the morning. Have you ever stopped to listen to the little voice inside your head when you wake up? For a lot of us, it can be surprisingly negative. Maybe it's thoughts like, "I'm too old for this," or "I'll never have the energy I used to." The truth is, those kinds of thoughts can shape how you feel and act throughout the entire day. And let's face it, after 60, life throws enough challenges our way without us adding fuel to the fire with self-doubt. That's why the 4th habit I want to address is starting your day with negative self-talk. It might seem small, but it has a huge impact on your confidence and independence. Think about it. Every time you tell yourself you're not strong enough or capable enough, you're reinforcing that belief. Over time, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. But here's the good news. You have the power to change that narrative. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, try shifting your mindset to what you can do. Here's a simple exercise. As soon as you wake up, say 1 positive affirmation out loud. Something like, "I'm strong, capable, and ready to take on today," or "I choose to focus on the things that bring me joy." It might feel a little silly at first, but trust me, it works. Positive affirmations help rewire your brain to focus on your strengths rather than your limitations. And when you start your day feeling confident and empowered, it shows in everything you do, from how you carry yourself to how you interact with others. Let me share a personal story with you. A few years ago, I went through a phase where I constantly doubted myself. I'd wake up and immediately start listing all the things I wasn't good at or couldn't do anymore. It was exhausting, and it affected my mood and productivity. One day, a close friend suggested I try saying affirmations in the mirror each morning. At first, I rolled my eyes. I thought it sounded cheesy, but I decided to give it a try anyway. Every morning, I'd stand in front of the mirror and repeat phrases like, "You are capable," or "You are worthy of happiness." Slowly but surely, I began to notice a shift. I felt more motivated, more resilient, and more optimistic about the day ahead. Affirmations might not solve all your problems, but they can definitely help you approach life with a healthier mindset. Now let's dive into another habit that might surprise you. Ignoring your posture when you get out of bed. You might not think much about it, but the way you move in those first few minutes of the day can have a big impact on your body. Slouching, hunching over, or even standing with uneven weight distribution can put unnecessary strain on your spine, shoulders, and hips. And over time, poor posture can lead to chronic pain, reduced mobility, and even balance issues, all of which can threaten your independence. So here's my challenge to you. Pay attention to how you sit, stand, and walk as soon as you start your day. When you sit up in bed, imagine there's a string pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. Keep your shoulders relaxed but aligned and engage your core slightly to support your lower back. These small adjustments might not seem like much, but they add up over time. Good posture isn't just about looking confident. It's about protecting your body so you can stay active and independent for years to come. For example, I recently met a woman named Carol who had struggled with chronic back pain for years. She assumed it was just part of getting older, but when her physical therapist pointed out how slouched she was during everyday activities, she realized she needed to make a change. Carol started practicing better posture in the mornings, and within weeks, she noticed a significant reduction in her discomfort. She told me that simply reminding herself to stand tall gave her a renewed sense of confidence and vitality. So if you've been neglecting your posture, now's the perfect time to start paying attention to it. While we're on the topic of movement, let's talk about something else that many people overlook in the morning: neglecting to warm up their bodies before diving into the day's activities. Now, I'm not saying you need to do an intense workout right after you roll out of bed. That's not realistic for most of us. But taking just 5 minutes to gently move your body can make a world of difference. A quick warm-up helps improve circulation, loosen stiff joints, and prepare your muscles for whatever the day has in store. It doesn't have to be complicated. Try marching in place for a minute, doing some slow neck rolls, or even practicing a few gentle yoga poses like cat-cow or child's pose. These movements are easy on the body, but incredibly effective at waking you up and getting you ready to tackle the day. Plus, they send a signal to your brain that it's time to switch from rest mode to action mode. And isn't that exactly what we want as we age? To feel alert, capable, and ready to embrace life? Here's a tip. If you're not sure where to start, look up some beginner-friendly exercises online. There are plenty of free videos tailored specifically for seniors that guide you through safe, low-impact movements. You could also invest in a fitness class at your local community center or YMCA. Many places offer programs designed for older adults, and they're a great way to meet new people while staying active. The key is to find something you enjoy. Whether it's Tai Chi, swimming, or dancing, movement should feel good, not like a chore. As you can see, these habits, negative self-talk, poor posture, and skipping a morning warm-up, are all interconnected. They affect not just your physical health, but also your mental and emotional well-being. And when you address them together, you create a powerful foundation for staying independent and thriving in your later years. But we're not done yet. There's one more habit that might be holding you back, and it's something that many people don't even realize they're doing. And that habit is rushing through your morning without taking a moment to breathe. Now, I know life gets busy, and it's easy to fall into the trap of jumping from one task to the next as soon as your feet hit the floor. We wake up thinking about everything we need to accomplish: groceries to buy, appointments to keep, errands to run, and before we know it, we're already in go mode. But here's the thing. When you skip that quiet time to center yourself, you're missing out on an opportunity to set a calm, focused tone for the rest of your day. After 60, our bodies and minds need a little more grace in the mornings. They Need time to transition from rest to activity without feeling overwhelmed. That's why I want to encourage you to carve out just 5 minutes each morning for mindful breathing or meditation. Now I hear some of you saying, I don't have time for that, or meditation isn't my thing. But let me tell you, this isn't about sitting cross-legged on the floor, chanting Om, if that's not your style. It's about giving yourself permission to pause and reconnect with your body and mind. You can sit in a chair, lie down, or even stand by the window while you do it. The key is to focus on your breath. Breathe in slowly through your nose, hold it for a second, and then exhale gently through your mouth. As you do this, imagine any tension melting away. If your mind starts to wander, and trust me, it will, that's okay. Gently bring your attention back to your breathing. Over time, this practice becomes easier, and the benefits are undeniable. Studies show that mindfulness and deep breathing can lower stress levels, improve mental clarity, and even boost your immune system. And when you start your day feeling calm and centered, you're better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. But let's take this idea a step further. What if, during those 5 minutes, you also took a moment to express gratitude? Gratitude is such a powerful tool, especially as we age. It shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, and there's so much to be thankful for. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun streaming through your window, the sound of birds chirping outside, or simply the fact that you woke up to see another day. Take a moment to acknowledge these blessings, no matter how small they may seem. You might even write them down in a journal if you enjoy putting pen to paper. This simple act of gratitude sets a positive tone for the rest of your day and reminds you of all the good things in your life. Plus, research shows that practicing gratitude regularly can improve mood, reduce anxiety, and even strengthen relationships. Who wouldn't want that? Let me leave you with this thought. Aging doesn't mean giving up control over your life. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The choices you make every day, especially in the morning, can either empower you or hold you back. By being intentional about how you start your day, you're making a statement. I value my health, my happiness, and my independence. And that's something worth celebrating. Remember, small changes really do add up. Maybe you start by fixing just one of these habits this week, like eating a healthier breakfast or spending a few minutes stretching. Then once that becomes second nature, you tackle the next one. Before you know it, you'll look back and see how far you've come. Here's a personal story that might inspire you. A few years ago, I started working with a woman named Margaret, who was in her late 60s. She came to me feeling frustrated because she felt like she had lost her spark. She was constantly tired, her joints ached, and she struggled to find joy in the activities she used to love. When I asked her about her mornings, she admitted that she usually skipped breakfast, drank 3 cups of coffee before noon, and rarely gave herself time to relax. Together, we worked on creating a new morning routine tailored to her needs. She began eating a balanced breakfast, doing light stretches, and setting aside 5 minutes each morning to meditate. At first, she was skeptical. It felt strange to slow down after decades of hustling, but within weeks, she noticed a difference. Her energy improved, her pain lessened, and she found herself looking forward to her days again. Margaret's transformation reminded me of how powerful small changes can be. And guess what? You can experience the same kind of transformation too. Of course, I understand that change isn't always easy. Sometimes old habits die hard, and it takes effort to create new ones. But here's the secret. Consistency is key. Don't try to overhaul your entire morning routine overnight. Start with 1 or 2 adjustments and build from there. For example, if you struggle with negative self-talk, begin by replacing one critical thought with a positive affirmation each day. If posture is an issue, set reminders on your phone to check in with your body throughout the morning. And if you're not ready to meditate, simply take a few deep breaths while you sip your tea or coffee. These tiny steps may seem insignificant at first, but over time they compound into meaningful results. Another thing to keep in mind is that everyone's ideal morning routine looks different. Some people thrive on structure, while others prefer flexibility. There's no right or wrong way to design your mornings, as long as they serve you and support your goals. For instance, if you're someone who loves being outdoors, consider starting your day with a short walk around the block. Not only does this get your blood flowing, but it also allows you to soak up some fresh air and vitamin D. On the other hand, if you're more of a homebody, you might prefer reading a book, journaling, or listening to calming music. The point is to find what works for you and stick with it. Your morning should feel like a gift, not a chore. Now let's talk about accountability. One of the best ways to stay committed to your new habits is to share your journey with someone else. Whether it's a friend, family member, or neighbor, having someone to cheer you on makes a huge difference. You could even join an online community or local group where people are working towards similar goals. Not only will you gain valuable support, but you'll also inspire others along the way. And let's not forget about rewarding yourself. When you stick to your new habits for a week or a month, celebrate that win. Treat yourself to something special, like a nice meal, a relaxing bath, or a fun outing. Positive reinforcement goes a long way in helping you stay motivated. Before we wrap things up, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits resonated with you the most? Or maybe there's another morning routine you swear by. Share it in the comments below. Let's create a space where we can learn from each other and support one another in living our best lives. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more tips and conversations coming your way, all designed to help you thrive at any age. So here's to waking up each day with purpose, confidence, and a commitment to taking care of yourself. You've worked hard to get where you are, and you deserve to enjoy every moment of this incredible chapter of your life. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Until next time, take care of yourself, and remember, you're never too old to embrace new habits that make life brighter. Here's to living your best life, no matter your age.